Alright, so this video is going to cover the Chapter 4 Math Operators Practice Quiz. So I'm going to go through all the answers. You should write this, not write it, print it up and write it out by hand. Then what you can do is you can check your work at the end of the document and watch this video for any sort of clarifications, okay? So rewrite the pseudocode statement using the combined assignment operators. So add 6 to x. So combining operators would be x plus equals 6. Okay. You notice how I did 6 to x, making you think 6 plus equals x. You don't want to do it like that. This is your variable. You're adding 6 to it. And then whatever x previously was, you add 6 to it, and then it restores it in x. Okay. Same with this one, subtract amount, so minus equals 4. Multiply y by 4. 4 multiply equals, y multiply equals 4. And total divided by equals 27. And finally, store in x the remainder of x divided. So when you see the word remainder, you need to use modulus. So that'd be x modulus equals 7. Okay. All right, next page. Okay, so I give you a program to run through. And you're supposed to display, let's see what it says. Given the following code, what will the value of final amount when it is displayed? So final amount, what will display here? Excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. Alright, so your program always starts off in main, and this is the class above it, okay? So we've got an order object from the order class, and that's actually being defined down here, but we're assigning these variables information, and then we're passing them into the constructor order. So we've got order number is 1, 2, 3, 4, order AMT is 580, and order disk is 0.1. So right here, these get passed off into this up here. So order number is 1, 2, 3, 4. Order amount is 580, and order disk is 0.1. So right here, that's order disk count. Okay. So then we just assign this order num to 1, 2, and maybe I'll just put that right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't want that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Order amount is 580. And order disk count is 0.1. Okay. So we did that line of code. These variables are assigned right here. Then we say the final amount is equal to order, which is my order object, dot final order total. So my object is calling this, it is returning that right there and storing it in final amount. So if my order amount is 580, okay, and we know that from up here, then I've got minus 580 multiplied by 0.1. Well, what's 0.1 times 580? Isn't that 58? So really, this calculation is 580 minus 58, which gives us, if this was 60, it would be 580 minus 60, which is 520, and then I'd add the 2 back in for it only being 58. So it's 522. Okay. So I got A. A is my final answer, and that's how I came to it. Okay. All right, for the toy factory, you have to write this out by hand. Ew. All right, so let's read about it, and I actually have, I'm going to copy this stuff, and I'm going to put it in a notepad. I'm not going to program it out because you're supposed to be doing it all by hand, okay? Alright, so I have that. And then I'll have my class down here, and I'll just copy that. And I'll do this below. Alright, let's see here. So that's basically my skeleton that I get to start off with. Alright, let's read and see what this does. Design a class for a toy manufacturing class. The class should have a mutator method that accepts the number of toys that the user would want to produce. So mutator, it accepts the number of toys that the user would want to produce. So, when you see the word mutator, you think, okay, that's going to set my information, okay? So, and it might be easiest, let me see if I can open up a Word document here. New, blank document. So, I don't know if I want to do nouns or verbs, but I definitely want to do a UML model. Those help me. Hopefully they're starting to help you, because again, you can code right from a UML model. So what's going to be the name of this thing? Toy Factory. And I already wrote that for you, main Toy Factory and Toy Factory. But, you know, use this for your UML model. So Toy Factory is going to be the name of your class, okay? And then you're going to have variables, and then you're going to have methods. So your variables will be right in here. Variables. And your method names. Okay. So, also, I want to view this thing larger. Okay, so that should make it easier. So, going back here, it says the class should have a mutator method that accepts the number of toys. So mutator means set, so I'm going to call it public void set num toys. Okay, let me read it again. It accepts the number of toys. Okay, so it's going to accept int num toys. So accepts the number of toys that the user would want to produce. So set num toys, and I'm going to say set num toys to produce. Okay, that to me is pretty specific. That sentence says to create a mutator, which set, that's why I got the word set on there, accepts the number of toys. I accept the number of toys, so one of my variables is going to be int num toys. And sets the number of toys users want to produce. So that's where I got the set num toys to produce. A second mutator method will calculate how many days it will take to produce the number of toys. So does it say that anything's going to be accepted into the mutator? A second mutator method will calculate the number, how many days it will take to produce the number of toys. So I'm going to call this one public void set num days to produce. I mean, you can come up with your own naming convention here, all right? So set num days to produce. And since we're talking about toys, I didn't put toys in that one, but whatever. Assume that 10 toys can... Okay, so the plant operates to... Okay, so this will be our calculation that we use inside that method, but you know, that's not going to be something we need right this minute. The program will also have an accessor method that will return the number of toys the user entered. So accessor, that's going to be a get. So public, what is it? Let's see here. The program will also have an accessor method that will return the number of toys the user entered. Okay, so like right here, num toys, so that's an int. So public int, and I'm just going to say get. So instead of set, I'm going to say get num toys to produce, because that's going to be the number of toys. Okay, I'm not going to be able to copy it. All right, get num toys to produce. Okay, is there any other methods in here? It will also have an accessor method that returns the days it will take to produce the toys. So num days, we're not going to have like half. Are we going to allow for half days and stuff? Sure, I guess. So days to produce. So that will be a double. So I need a public double get probably num days to produce. Get num days to produce. All right. So I think so. This is going to have a, so if this is a variable, this is also a variable, so I need to put that in there. So that will be double, double, I don't know, num days. Alright, so from here, we should be able to hammer this program out. Okay, so I'm going to copy this and paste that right there, paste, and this would be all lowercase, lowercase, lowercase. Alright, so then we have to ask the user, well, first of all, we're importing scanner, so let's do that. So scanner, my scanner equals new scanner system.in, and then our object is called toy, or my class is called toy factory. My toy factory equals new toy factory. Alright, so then we got to ask the number of toys they need to produce. So system.out.println, please enter how many toys you need to produce. So I'll say int num toys equals my scanner.nextInt. Then I need to take that num toys and set the number of toys to produce. So my toy factory dot, and then I'm going to copy, paste, and I'm actually going to remove that. Well, no, I'm going to remove this int. So that sets the number of toys, so that gets passed in here. So let's write this method then. So it'd be, I always do my in front so that the different classes know different variables. So I'll say my num toys equals num toys, and I've got to define my num toys. So I'll say int my num toys. Okay, so that's that. So that sets. So now I need to set the number of days to produce. So, you know, I got something very similar here. Only instead of it calling that, it calls set num days to produce. So this is set num toys to produce. This is set num days to produce. So that's going to call this one. All right, and so I'm actually going to have to go back and relearn. So it says, assume that 10 toys can be produced each hour. The plant operates 2 shifts of 8 hours per day. So in a day, it does 8 hours 2 times, so that's 16 hours times 10. Okay, or 2 times 8 times 10. So you could say, so how would you figure out? So you've got a certain amount of toys and you're figuring out how many days that would produce. So we need what? We need a double my num days. Okay, so let's think this through. So mathematically, my num days is going to be equal to my num toys divided by, so it can do 10 toys per hour. There are 2 shifts in the day, and each shift is 8 hours. So this would give you an integer, and this would give you an integer, but we want to convert it to a double. So we cast it as a double. Okay, so that's the mathematical formula to figure out the number of days. So you do the total number of toys, and you divide that by how many days it will take if you can produce 10 per hour. There's 2 shifts and 8 hours per shift. Okay, so then this stuff down here, all we do is return the my num toys to produce. So semicolon there, and this one would be what? Return my num days. That's all they're doing is returning them. So my class looks good, and then finally I just need to do my output. So system.out.println number of toys, and let's say days to produce toys. So that's your header, and then you need some sort of I need and so instead of set, I'm getting it. Get num toys to produce. That would return this, my num toys, plus, and then again you're gonna have to, you know, just eyeball this thing, but you would need a decent sized space in there. Plus, sorry, this would be, now we got to get the toys. Or the number of days. That gave you the toys. That would give you the toys. This is going to give you the number of days to produce the toys. So, bam, right there. So, you know, you guys can go and plug this in if you want. I don't think I have any mistakes in here. But, you know, if you wrote this out on your test, you'd get 100% just eyeballing it real quick. I might have an error in here or there, but I think it's fine. So anyway, be able to write this out by hand, okay? Because that's what you're going to have to do on a test or quiz, okay? So this video